All right, I want to welcome on Tyler Kreitz, founder and CEO of Focus on the Field. Tyler, welcome to our, I don't know if it's a full podcast, but welcome to our little sit down here at NextUp.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here and really, like I said, impressed with what you guys are doing. It's a great community and a great newsletter.
Appreciate it. Why don't you talk a little bit about your background,
Sure.
how you got to Focus on the Field and what you guys do.
Okay, it's going to be a long one. I started Focus on the Field in 2019, but what led me to get there was a very different background. I was a youth admissions enrollment director at a prep school. I was director of a QA lab. I studied biology in college, worked in the labs at pharmaceutical facilities, then was a QA director. I had this presence of just operations, like making sure things run on time. And I always loved sports. Fast forward to 2017, I was in the startup space in the San Francisco area. I was a part-time, coach for one of the lacrosse clubs out there, Advanced Lacrosse. And the startup I was at, hockey stick the wrong way. And so I was just networking with the director, Chris Rotelli. Hey, would you be interested in helping me network? He asked me if I'd help him run Advance. And I said, maybe it's interesting. Maybe I'll do that for a few months. And never thought, where it'd go, but thought maybe I'd help him out, see what happens. This has a point, I'm getting to it. That's, in 2017, was like my first immersion into this youth sports industry. And when I got there and I worked with Chris and I looked at what was going on with youth sports, I was like, holy cow, this is crazy. And I was in charge and tasked with running his operation as smoothly off the field that it was running on the field. And so I was like, okay, that's what I started doing. And I just dove into it, loved it. I understood the essence of what had to happen with the communications, registration, all the management, all the white glove service that you need to give. As I was doing that for the next 3 years, I noticed that we were really good at it because he could afford me, but there were a lot of other people who were S-shows. But I won't swear. I don't know if this is going to go out to youth. It was a real issue. And so when I was there, I looked at it and I said, okay, there's a problem I could solve. And so in the fall of 2019, launched a pilot project with a local club, Alameda Lacrosse Club in the Bay Area, still a client of ours, with the idea of, hey, we will do the work so you don't have to do it. And they're like, yes. From there, we just started scoping out and discerning what it is that makes sports run, leveraging my background, leveraging the operations experience I had at Advance, and just provided to essentially make an Egg McMuffin of services we could repeat and deliver over and over.
I feel like so many people, every story about getting into the youth sports space is either you have kids and you see it on the ground level, or you're involved with the program where you're like, oh my God, this is on-field part is great, but what's going on behind the scenes is, What is the product and service today? What specifically do you guys offer?
So we are a professional services firm providing essentially outsourced business services for youth and amateur sports organizations. So if you and I need an admin, because we're running a soccer club, we could do it ourselves, we could hire somebody, or call Focus on the Field. You have an admin now. And we deliver general admin services, registration, communications, and managing the website and tech stack. That little quadrant of services is what makes up running the business of sports. We provide that as a service to organizations all over the country. We now also add social media and marketing services. We partner with club capitals to provide financial services. So essentially, anything that happens off the field to make sports work, we do as a service, and we provide this across the country. And the way I like to look at it is as for clients who come to us, they're looking for help. They either need to scale or they're drowning. And we're the easy button. Just tell us what you want done, we'll take care of it for you.
So much, an event like this at NextUp and elsewhere in the space, there's so much investment, interest in tech and automation and AI. And what you're describing is definitely a more manual and labor intensive process. Talk about the why behind what you guys are doing and then how tech can fit into what you guys
we are absolutely a tech-enabled service. We have to be. Just our internal tech stack is off-the-shelf pieces and some proprietary stuff that we build to make sure that our service that we provide is efficient and deliverable. But we have to work with and leverage all the existing tech programs that are out there. LeagueApps, for instance. LeagueApps has been a great partner. We partner with them. We are tech agnostic, right? We are Switzerland to a degree. And we work with every single program. We know the good ones, we know the bad ones, we know everything in between, and we'll recommend them as needed. But all those services, they have to exist, but they have to be, it's almost like I feel half these organizations have a gym membership and they go once a year. They have this incredible potential with some of the web and tech services they have, but they're not using them correctly. And if you don't have the right people operating the right levers and communicating the right way, your program will falter. As much as there is so much tech investment and tech in sports, if the power outage hit, the one thing that would keep going on is youth sports, because you can still show up with a pencil and paper and be like, be at the field at this time, I'll be there, we can still run our program.
I think there's some similarities with operating youth sports to the media business that we're in, right? Yeah. And I always compare that to being a baker, right? Yeah. The product in sports is what's happening on the field. In media, it's our newsletter or this podcast. And in sports, when you're a baker, like you got to be in at 4 a.m. every day, remaking the product for the next day. And like to have that skill set is very different than the back office administrative skill set, which is where you guys are coming in.
Absolutely.
How important is communication between, because I know sometimes like the operator of youth sports is more sports minded on the field minded. Like
absolutely.
How important is that communication to be able to like, we got to do what we do, you do what you do?
Well, the way we work is we embed it with and become part of the team. Every one of our clients has a dedicated person. So the Kyle and Tyler Soccer Club, guess what? Our dedicated Annie or Eric or person is our account manager. They're part of our team. They're backed by an operations team as well. But it's like, hey, they're going to have
they're your lead.
They're going to be our person even at our domain. We'll even set the domain up for you, like the email for you. But it's going to be like having any other employee. Like, look, we like to say, we're going to send you an invoice and deliver you an employee team. But it is so important, that communication piece. If you've never worked with people who don't work in your office, we have to train you a little bit. There's a bit of a training operation there. And the tailwinds of COVID, and as people got used to working outside of the office, that helped us. But if there's not a solid communication between us and our admin, that's on us. We have to make sure those channels exist. And sometimes it's difficult for those operators to do it, because it's like, why can't you read my mind? Well, we can't, but we can certainly do the best we can to know what's coming up. So we can have you at least preface and prompt you with, here's the decisions I need you to make, because I know these things are coming. Because the other thing I'll go into is, as varied and crazy as sports are, the uniformity, when you strip everything away, of the operational calendar and what needs to get done, 90% similar.
What is the primary use case or service that, I know you guys touch lots of areas of someone's business, but what are like the 1 or 2 or 3 things that like, it's like, okay, everyone needs help with this, or every one of our clients?
One of the first things we always do is we say, we will take over your admin or info at email inbox day one. Like, let's do that. Like, that's the communication is so key. People just want to hear, and 90% of those questions are FAQs. But let the parents, let the people know, we hear you, we're going to get back to you, we're listening to you. That's all they want. So that's number one. That's a very day one. Number 2, managing and leveraging your registration platforms. Understanding and getting your registration system set up correctly and running right. We do that really quickly. And then usually when we try to look at, like, we always, for our day one service and our onboarding process, we always ask, give us your 5 biggest fires, or 5 most urgent tasks, or what are the things you just want to point and click, say, please get that off my plate. Communication, registration, and then generally it's some sort of managing the website tech stack, just to make sure that's up to date and present, because it gets triaged down. In sports especially, there's always a tyranny of the urgent, always coming up, and there's always that parent you need to get back to, there's always that field you got to get thing, there's always that next thing, because you have practice to get to that night.
And it always feels like the website is like last. I know with my kids' sports, like it will be updated like the day before the season with dates for the upcoming season, and not just schedule stuff like sign up dates, and it's always like last minute, and you're like scrambling 2 weeks out, like, can I register for this? When's it start? Stuff like that.
And it's understandably so. I mean, I get it. People have the urgent part of what people are doing is to put their attention on the field with the players, the parents, the kids. That's where their time should be spent. And so doing this stuff is incredibly necessary, but it gets triaged down because, hey, I can do this, but you know what? I got to go set up cones.
How much do the league apps of the world, I imagine they like the presence of you guys because you were there to kind of educate people who maybe aren't leveraging all the tools or using them at all.
I can't say, like, LeagueApps has been an incredible partner with us. And like Jeremy and Brian, when I was building this idea out, I've been at every NextUp conference, first with Advance and then subsequently with Focus on the Field. And every time, as we were starting this, they were really bullish on it. And they said, this is great, because guess what? Where their CS, customer service department ends, they're a software company. Yeah. They can't do all the work for you. But there's a gap sometimes between a LeagueApps and their clients. We fill that gap, and then we make their product stronger. And also, we work with a lot of LeagueApps clients and a lot of other clients. We know their platform probably as well as they do, and we're going to come back, hey, these are the holes we're seeing. And so that, like, we value those relationships immensely. And I hope that we're providing a service for them. Every software company wants to say that their system is so easy, and they are, but still.
Especially now, is like they're all adding more features and there's more things you can do. And if you're a coach or out on the field all the time, like, it's hard to keep up with that stuff. Again,
I always think that software, especially sports software, is something that the operators survive in, they don't thrive in. Because again, they just need it. You need them to take the payment, take the registration, so I can get the kids to know where to show up. That's what you need it for. Then the bells and whistles adding on is incredibly great, especially as programs are getting more and more sophisticated. Don't get me wrong, they're very useful. But the core element of what they're providing is something that the clients need just to, again, you're registered, I'm going to communicate with you, I'm going to tell you where to go. And if you can provide me that, that's fantastic.
You guys are bootstrapped, right?
Yeah.
A lot of capital floating around the space.
Yes.
You can go out there in the networking hall and you could tell who the capital guys are, guys and girls, right? And you can tell who the sports guys and girls are. Why bootstrapped? Thoughts on taking capital? Like, give me your thoughts there.
I mean, bootstrap because it could. I started this with 4 months of capital, or 4 months of runway, a deck, and a cultivated network of angels and advisors that said, hey, I think you should be doing this. I mean, I owe so much to the group of people who helped me, who were advising me in the early stages of this, and were ready to invest. But and they said, just keep pushing the runway out. And I got comfortable reinvesting it. So it's a comfort thing. Almost ended my marriage. So the reason of why I'm doing this in that sense of why not do it? Well, to be frank, we're not sexy. I live in Silicon Valley. I'm not building quantum computing or AI right now. It's like nobody wants to pay attention to me.
Yeah, we just had Dave from On Sides in here, and he said everyone's there looking for the next open AI, like youth sports, and especially more of a service business is almost foreign.
Dave is fantastic. I'm on Dave's advisory board now, and because what he's doing.
Well, so am I. All right, there we go.
What Dave's doing, again, we are in the same thing. Agnostic, solving a problem. So we've bootstrapped because we could. If I find I always felt as building this business, I wanted to prove it first before I take somebody's money. So we spent 5 years first proving hey, can we do this? Then it's great, now can you scale it? Okay, we can start scaling it. Now it's great, I have this torch lit. Is there somebody, if I find the right partner to put some gasoline on this, would I consider it? Yes. I am an unabashed, I am building this not just as I see a business, but I want to support for my family. I live in the most expensive place in the world. It's where my home was. I have 2 boys. One of them has some special needs that I need to account for. So I'm extremely motivated to do what's right. I'm not doing this because of some machismo thing. It's I could do it, and I've just kept doing it. And if the right person comes around, I'd certainly consider it. But it's got to be buying into what our vision is. And our vision is we want to provide those moments of delight for our partners, whether they're rec, whether they're for-profit, non-profit, it doesn't matter. When we get our customers to say, oh, thanks. That's it. That makes it for us. Hey, man, thank you. I get to go now. Great, awesome. That's it for us. That drives our entire company.
Last one. So where are you guys, how big are you guys now, and then where do you want to go, right?
So we're at about 60 to 70 clients, and we now have the ability to offer projects. So that's why the name, subscription service clients, and then also projects that we do. We have about, I'd like to get to 150 to 200 in the next 2 years. We have grown.
What's the type of project you would take on versus a recurring?
Our soccer club, we're moving from software X to software Y. Need a new website build. Can you do that for us? Done. We need to get all our registration forms in for our lacrosse tournaments we're signing up for. Can you do that for us? Done. That's a project. Definitive end date. And we do that. We're doing that more and more now. Versus our annual subscription service where we're doing a full set of like having an employee 9 to 5 year round. So that's where our goal is. I have grown this through word of mouth. I mean, you're talking to the head of HR and marketing and sales until the past 6 months. So we're starting to, as long as I invest correctly and back into the company, then we're going to start expanding a little bit quicker. But I prefer slow and steady as opposed to getting out over our skis. But it's just growing the right way.
What do you guys get out of an event like NextUp?
We've gotten a client out of this every year we've come.
No kidding. There you go.
So there's a
direct answer.
But also the community at NextUp is fantastic. I love the folks at LeagueApps. I come back here, it's like a reunion. I've enjoyed each year. It's very friendly. It's very welcoming. I learned something new. And I just appreciate them putting this on. It takes a lot of time and energy, and it's not like some massive revenue generation machine. I'm sure they make some, but the whole point of just bringing people together to have these types of conversations, meet folks in person, that's invaluable. Like when we meet our clients, I will go out and visit them and meet them in person so they know we're more than just behind the screen. We have clients in almost every state, and we're getting there. So it's I also don't mind traveling. But that element of just being able to, hey, you're a person. We're here for you. We trust you. Or we're here to work for you. Having those personal interactions is key. And that's why sports are so important. You can't just do it on your screen. You have to be on the same field. You have to be in the same place as somebody. So having this type of opportunity to do it on the business side just makes sense. It's so correlated with what we're all so passionate about.
Well, then we'll look forward to seeing you at our Buying Sandlot conference.
Already in. Already talked. We're in.
Awesome.
We're in.
All right.
No, absolutely.
I knew Paul was on it. Right.
Oh, I know. Absolutely. We could. I'm excited. I think it's going to be great.
Tyler, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me, man. You guys keep it up. You guys are doing a great job.
Thanks. Appreciate it.